Trey, along the journey, that you're talking about here, how critical was that time during between your junior and senior year of high school when you made that position switch and you had to work your way back to the team? Just tell us a little bit about that part of this football journey and life journey for you.
Yeah, there's been a lot of places where, as a young man you have challenges and things like that, and I think it was good to have some adversity early, really appreciate the game of football, continue to work towards being a better teammate and a better player, to inevitably go on to win a state championship under Rick Darlington. So those are one of the things, like in playing tight end was also a lot of fun for my career because I kind of got an inside look of what they're doing, what the plays are going to look like, things like that too. So it was an exciting time. That was one of the things that I will look back on as one of the more special moments was winning the state championship and things like that and the way we did it. Really selfless team, and I was blessed to be a part of it.
Next question is coming from Jake Malik.
Hey, Trey, how are you?
Doing good.
All right. You had a great season last year in New Orleans, and you followed up with another great year this year in Tennessee. This year you reached a Super Bowl after some heartbreaks in New Orleans. Just talk me through what it's like to finally reach the big game, play in the biggest moment, and what can you do to continue doing what you've been doing throughout the regular season and now this past postseason?
Well, anything I learned from New Orleans is don't make the game bigger than the game. It's one of those things you take it one play at a time, and when you're at the end of the road, that's when you can kind of look up. And I can speak for a lot of guys on this team that I think we still have one more game to play. A lot of excitement, a lot of things come with being in the game, but handling that properly as a pro, knowing that we still have 4 quarters to play. There's a lot of preparation that needs to get done too as well. But as far as having a chance, I think that's always something that every team has a goal for. So achieving those goals are great, but we're not in a position where we're patting ourselves on the back for getting there.
Next question comes from Dan Van Lattingden. Again, if you can name your outlet before your question. Thank you. You there, Dan? All right, we'll circle back to you. Next question is coming from Ben Schulman.
Hey, Trey. Thanks so much for taking the time to Schulman, WJPZ. Coming over from New Orleans this year, what's it been like to work with Lou Anarumo? What kind of impact has he made on you?
Yeah, Coach Lou's been great, not only as a coach, but as like a mentor and things like that. It's been great having conversations even about life, but as in football, he's helped me develop, more of a well-rounded defensive end, outside linebacker kind of play. If they don't know if you're rushing or dropping, that's a lot of disguise that was important to me as a player and to this defense, the more you can do. And with the help of Coach Hobby, obviously, and Coach Duffner, it was a collective effort that, the results speak for themselves, and I was blessed to be an opportunity to have success. But 100%, I do appreciate the position that Coach Lou put me in.
All right, we're going to swing back to Dan, see if he's ready for us. All right, we'll come back to you because third time is always the charm. Next question is going to be coming from Delito.
Hey Trey, Danilo Lacan from Torcedores TV Brazil. How are you doing today?
Doing good. How are you?
I'm fine, man. So you're a great tackler, and the Bengals defense know how to stop the rushing game well. What you watch out for about Ken Akers and the Rams rushing game?
Well, they have a good offense, and every good offense has a good run game. And that's one of the, weekly keys to victory is making a team one-dimensional and then getting after the quarterback. So that'll come with its challenges, as every week does. But I have a lot of faith in our defensive line and linebackers to stop the running back and put a cap on it so that we can get after the quarterback early and often.
Next question is going to come from Jay Morrison.
Hey Trey, it's from the Athletic in Cincinnati. I wanted to ask you about Lou as well. What you mentioned about him having you drop and do more, expanding your role as a defensive end. Was that discussed when they were kind of recruiting you in free agency, or is that something that evolved through OTAs and training camp?
It was something that was installed. It was brought up. It's always been communicated, and it was one of those things. It was like, what can I do to help this defense? And it was, what can we use, me successfully for? And the more things I can do, the more help I can provide, and the more disguise we can have as a defense. So I think it was a no-brainer for me as a team player to volunteer for those kind of jobs, and also to continue to develop and rep and become a better player at those things with the help of Sam Hubbard and all the other defensive ends. It was a collective goal to win, and that was a good way to help the team win.
Next question is going to be from Danny Heifetz.
Hey, how you doing?
Doing good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm wondering, you guys had a lot of three-man rushes against the Chiefs last week that worked really well, and it just seems like blitzing overall is really just down across the entire league, and some of the best quarterbacks. Matt Stafford's one of the best quarterbacks in the entire NFL against the blitz. Generally speaking, do you feel actually better when it's a four-man rush and you have more coverage back there, so you have more time to get to the pass rusher? Sorry, when you have more time as a pass rusher to get to the quarterback?
Well, I think that goes to the play calling and the schemes and the mind of, Coach Anarumo. Whatever defense he wants to put out there, I know that Sam, DJ, BJ, and I have a lot of goals to sack the quarterback, whether it's 4 guys, 3 guys, or even 2. So, it's our job to win our one-on-ones and continue to rush the passer and put pressure on him, whether, it's 2 to 5 men rushing.
All right, Dan said he's ready, so we're going to go back to him.
All right, now. Hello? Trey? Can you hear me now, Trey?
Yep.
Hi, Trey. Sorry about that. It's very complicated. It's the Super Bowl and everything. As you were growing up, you probably sat around watching the Super Bowl in the past, and one of the things that I did with a lot of kids in high school and college communities, there's a smaller gathering. Football is life for them. When it comes down to it, this team has shown so much camaraderie that it is just amazing here in Cincinnati how they come together. How would you describe the difference between confidence and arrogance into this game, and how would you portray that to some younger youth in football?
Yeah, that's a great question, and it's a fine line that you have to learn how to walk as a professional. Being arrogant is something that's very dangerous in this league, and even confidence in this league, it's needed to a point. I try to be as humble as I can. Personally, I can't speak for everyone else, but personally, I would say that I am confident in what I can do, and there's a level of doing your job, going to practice, knowing your reps, knowing the playbook, getting in the playbook, learning it, and executing it on Sundays. that's where your confidence truly should lie. Everything else kind of has to fall away. It's one of those things, like I said, it's a fine line, but I do believe every player should be confident.
All right, we got next question from Mike K.
Hey Trey, you've obviously played with you've obviously played with Eli Apple in New Orleans and in Cincinnati. What's he bring to the table as a teammate? What's he like in the locker room? And how have you both grown together in your relationship since moving over from New Orleans?
Yeah, Eli is great. He brings a lot of energy. He's got that mean streak that I think you need to play the game of football. He's a really special talent. He can go toe-to-toe with anybody in this league. He's developed as a player much better since New Orleans, and a lot of people would say I have too. And I think that should be every player's goal, is to improve year in and year out, and I can definitely say that Eli's done that.
All right, going back to Jay here.
Yeah, Trey, I wanted to follow up with my previous question. It's not just you that Lou is asked to do more and be more versatile. It seems like it's everybody. Do you get that sense as well, that this is a team with a lot of guys on defense who can do a lot of different things? And is that a reason why we've seen this defense take off in the second half of the year, where guys are starting to get more comfortable with the new things they're being asked to do?
Yeah, I think it goes for all 11 guys that are out there on the field. They want to do more to help the defense. The guys that we're playing with aren't trying to make the big play for themselves. They're doing their job, and when the play comes, they're excited to execute the way the playbook has to make the play. And when you got guys that are buying in like that, and guys that are doing it for somebody else, not themselves, I'm really blessed to be a part of that kind of defense. It's special, and I look forward to playing with them this upcoming Sunday.
All right, again, media, if you have a follow-up question or a second question, let me know on the front end so we can get those back to back. Let's go with back to Dennis here.
Hey, Trey, Zach AP again. I wanted to go back to what I asked earlier with the journey and talking about tight end, playing that. When your coach approached you about switching positions in order to get back to the team and play, what was that conversation like? Did you embrace it? I mean, you played that position well as a senior, obviously. And do you sometimes miss it?
Well, yeah, he approached it as like we had a lot of good talent on defensive line at that time, and our tight end got hurt in the spring, so it was one of those things that it wasn't like I have to do this to be back on the team. It was more like, this is where we need you, and we'd like you to come play tight end, and I was more than happy to do it. I mean, Zach Darlington had a great arm. I knew I was going to have some success in blocking for a guy like Jedrick Blocker. He was a great running back, and it was one of those things that I love playing football. I do love playing tight end, but there's nothing like sacking the quarterback. Everybody will say touchdowns are the greatest thing, but I've scored touchdowns, I've sacked quarterbacks, and there's nothing close to a sack.
All right, let's go with Nico Trimbola.
Hello, Trey. I was asking whether you found at any point of the season that you are going to be Super Bowl contenders. I mean, was there any point of the season when you gathered and said, okay, we are definitely a team that will be able to play in the Super Bowl?
Yeah, I think early on in OTAs, the chemistry that everybody had on the team, the way we were communicating as a defense, the way we were flying around, the way the offense was working and functioning like a well-oiled machine. I think pretty early on we knew that we could do this, and the belief from the coaches and the players was all the same message. I think every good team has some learning experiences, and we learn throughout the season, learn from some mistakes, got better as we continued to work together. And I think it's been a really special culture that's been created from the top down. Can't say enough about the guys they've brought in. I'm blessed to be a part of this building and a part of this team. So I'm excited, like I said, for Sunday.
Next question will come from Colin Crone.
Hi, Trey. Greetings from Dublin, Ireland. The Bengals have a huge fan base on this little green island, so good luck on Sunday. I'm interested in this. You talked about getting sacks and touchdowns. In this game, Von Miller, who we all know took over the Super Bowl, runs a pass rush summit. Aaron Donald, one of the greatest defenders the game has seen. But now you're talked about, in terms of the ability to be a game wrecker. How much are you looking forward to going up against and people talking about pass rush being a big factor in the Super Bowl?
Well, I've been blessed to be in a position to rush for this team, and be in conversation with guys that have been doing it for a long time like that. But I think every goal you go into is to affect the quarterback, whatever team you're playing for. Quarterbacks win games. If you can take that piece of the puzzle away, I think it's a lot easier to control a game on defense, make sure that the things are going in the proper direction, things like that. But I can't say enough about guys that have done it before me and continue to get after the passer consistently. It's a hard thing to do, but it's a great fight. So I look forward to getting after the quarterback on Sunday and taking care of our job.
The question is going to come from Brad Klein.
Hey, Trey, taking the time. I'm curious about your relationship with Zach, given his age. Was there ever a time when you had to adjust to that because he was so young?
Sorry, you kind of cut out there. What was the question?
You got me now?
Yeah.
I'm curious about Zach's age and your relationship with him, given how young he is. Is there ever an adjustment period there?
No, he's handled the head coaching position with a lot of respect, and he's a team guy like everybody else is, and he's one of those coaches that's doing everything he can to put us in positions to win. I have a lot of respect for him and the culture that he's created here. He's been through a lot of things, and it's fun to win games for him.
All right, let's go with Charlie Goldsmith.
Hey, Trey, with the Bengals, a lot about your expanded role and the potential to more in Cincinnati this season. What have you learned from that experience? How has that expanded role helped you progress in your career?
I'm going to need that one again.
Sorry, there's an echo. When you signed in Cincinnati, you spoke about your expanded role, getting to do more. What did you learn from that experience, and how has that expanded role helped you as a player?
Well, like I said, with the help of the coaches and the players, it was a no-brainer to do my job for the team. It's been a learning experience in just learning defenses a little better, and then learning what offenses are trying to attack in these defenses. So it's been fun to learn. Really smart opposite in Sam Hubbard. He's helped me a lot in the communications and what to expect and things like that. So becoming a more developed player with the support I've had here, it was bound to happen with how hard I was working at it. So I'm very appreciative of my coaches and players. And like I said, I'm looking forward to getting after it on Sunday.
Let's go with Andrew Callahan.
Hey, Trey, congrats on your success here. I just wanted to go back at large. Obviously, you made the right decision for you free agency. Who were among the other teams you might have considered, and were the Patriots among them?
Free agency was so long ago, and one of those things that I had, once I signed, there was nothing more important to me than being the best Bengal that I could be. And one of the things that comes with that is how hard I want to work and how hard I know I could prove that they made the right decision, and them taking a chance on me, them being the Brown family, Blackburn family, you know, it meant a lot to me, and I wanted to prove them right. So that was the main focus. Everyone else kind of fell away. The opportunity did not present itself like I knew it would here. To play this game at the level that I always wanted to play it at, and the coaches and the teammates that I knew I'd have here, Von Bell, Sam Hubbard, DJ, young guys like Logan and Jermaine, the back end, Jesse and Vaughn, Mike Hilton and Cheeto are signing here. It was Riley Reef, who I've played against multiple times. It was just the formula was there, and it was just one of those things that we just plugged in, and I felt like a family immediately.
All right, let's go with Rod Walker.
Trey, how you doing? This is Rod. How much of your time as a Saint to sort of set the foundation for where you are, and also what's it been like to be uniting with Eli?
Yeah. Also with Von Bell, it's one of the things that I looked at with him being a captain here, and they had a lot of respect for what he did, and as I did when he was in New Orleans. But whenever you play for a guy like Sean Payton and you watch a guy like Drew Brees work, and then in my D line room I have Cameron Jordan to look up to, and the way he works every day. It was a really special environment, and I learned from some adversities of being a healthy inactive. There's very talented defensive ends that rolled through New Orleans, and I had to earn it. But that competitive fire and that desire to be special in this league was lit under me very early, and it was something that took time to develop, but I wouldn't change my walk for the world.
All right, let's swing back to Brad here.
Hey Trey, again, thanks for taking the time here. I'm curious, maybe aside from just standing alongside your teammates, what's the role of white NFL players in rectifying the problem in minority coaching?
Yeah, that's a great question. It's one of those things that you have to be able to know when to speak up. You need to know when to be quiet and listen. And through the last couple of years, there's been a lot of time to listen. But in one of those things, it's not to be ignored. For the situation that's going on right now, I can't speak a lot of it. I've tried to be out of the media as much as possible and focus on what we have to accomplish right now. But things like that, if they're continuing to happen, is not something that I'm extremely proud of.
Let's go with Eric Wilson.
Appreciate your time, sir. Thank you so much for doing this. Can you just speak to the chemistry of your defense and how you've been able to rise above the criticism that Cincinnati's defense isn't a top 10, and you've been able to beat the likes of the Vegas Raiders, Tennessee Titans, and the Kansas City Chiefs?
Yeah, our defense goes out there, and we're not really worried about where we're ranked or anything like that. I think the most important thing about football is winning the game, eliminating their main players and the explosive plays, collectively doing our job and our 1/11th on our defense, and doing it for the guy beside us and the guys coaching. And it's a real collective effort. We got guys on the sidelines telling us what keys to pick up on and what things to do. So it goes farther. It's just the 11 guys on the field. We got guys on the sidelines helping pick up the guys on the field and how we can all improve to win. And like I said, I'm blessed to be a part of this defense.
All right, let's go with Nelson Perez.
Hey Trey, Panic Sports Media. In the second half of the last game against Kansas, you were able to apply pressure with only 3 players. Do you think that could be a key to stopping Matthew Stafford?
Yeah, anytime you're able to affect a quarterback with a 3-man rush, that helps the defense on the back end. With a guy like Stafford, he's a very talented quarterback, and he's been doing it in this league for a long time, so he knows how to dissect defenses like that. So to continue to be doing our job, whether it, like I said, it's a three-man rush or a blitz, doing your job and winning your one-on-ones is something that we take a lot of pride up front.
All right, we don't have any questions at the moment, so we're gonna give it a few minutes, see if anybody wants to pop in, treat it like a normal media session. Oh, there they are. Let's go back to Eric.
I appreciate it. Yeah, thank you. So, Trey, let me ask you, being in this moment, can you just speak to what it means to be a part of this? Because Cincinnati for so long has not been a top 10 team. And again, this is kind of an underdog, Cinderella story for you guys, but you guys aren't seeing it like that.
Yeah, it's one of those things that since OTAs we've known what we've been capable of doing. It's our job to just go out there and execute. What it means to this city and these fans is very evident when you go around town and see the people in just common interactions, just going to a grocery store and stuff like that. It's great to give a breath of fresh air to this city and this organization. But like I said, we're really excited to compete at a high level on Sunday, and I think that's the goal for us.
All right, let's go back to Rod here.
And Trey, what's sort of your response to the people who may have thought that your last season here in New Orleans was just a fluke season, and you kind of went out this year and proved to everybody that this is who you are?
It's not my job to look at the negatives and things. I look at the positives. A lot of people believed in me. A lot of people knew what I was capable of, including this organization. So I've been really blessed to be in a position to rush the passer at a high level with a lot of talent and be a part of something special.
Back to Rod.
Yeah, I want to get back to Von Bell a little bit. Just what have you seen from him since you've been there with him, and how much has he maybe changed from your time together here in New Orleans?
I mean, every player strives to get better every year. But Von's been working hard since the day I first walked in the building in New Orleans. He was one of the better players that I've seen in the weight room, in the film room. The way he conducts himself on and off the field seems like everything is pointing towards football and getting better. So there's no doubt that I knew he'd be a captain in the NFL. I knew he'd play at an extremely high level, which he has year in and year out. And his leadership is probably one of his most underrated qualities, how he brings guys into the meeting rooms together and they're dissecting defenses, the way he conducts himself as a player. I can't say enough about it, and he's one of the reasons why I'm a Cincinnati Bengal.
Got George Radney.
Community News. Good morning, Trey. How you doing?
I'm doing good.
Great. Good question. Coming from New Orleans and coming into this to Cincinnati, were you comfortable? Was it just similar defensive schemes, or was it something? Because it seemed like you kind of got right into it and took off with a very good season.
Yeah, I take a lot of pride in being prepared and learning defenses and things, and I don't like to step on the field confused. I like to make sure that I go through all the personnel, the playbook, things like that. That's things I take a lot of pride of, and those are some things that don't require any talent. So doing those things on and off the field are super important in the development of football players, and as a professional, I take a lot of pride in in checking that box, like I said, before I step on the field.
Rod, you're back up.
I guess I'll ask you a Joe Burrow question. What's he been like, and just how cool is he to, just to see the swag that he displays every Sunday?
Yeah, no, it's one of those things that's important to have a quarterback with a lot of confidence. It's important that you have a quarterback that's truly himself in this league and does what he wants to do, and those are defining characteristics of great quarterbacks in the NFL. So, I mean, I'm happy for him. Like I said, it's my job to get him the ball back, and it's exciting knowing that a guy like that is going to have the ball when we're on the sidelines.
Back to Rob.
Yeah, Trey, I want to ask you about Sean Payton. Obviously, he's a guy that you spent time with, but just kind of thoughts on his retiring and what he meant to you as a coach during your time here.
Yeah. I think he's one of the greatest coaches that I could have been, presented and how to win and the culture that he's conducted, and how he's responded to, some tough losses are something that I'll never forget. It's something, being a part of a Drew and Sean Payton era is going to go down in history as one of the greater duos of all time. So to watch him continue to have success in this league, and the way he retired is almost special. He knew that it was his time there was up, and he didn't try to force anything. He's not doing it. It's not how he's defined as a quarterback or a coach and quarterback duo. It's just special coach, special man, and I wish him nothing but the best.
Got Neil Reynolds.
Hi, Trey. It's Neil from Sky Sports NFL in the UK. I wonder if you could tell me how different things are now with the Cincinnati Bengals led by Joe Burrow, and does his confidence spread through the entire team?
Yeah, it's one of those things that it starts with a quarterback. I think every good football team has to have a great quarterback, and when he's confident like that, it does a lot for the defense on our standpoint, knowing that we have a guy that's confident in getting a first down on 3rd and long. He's confident in getting a first down on 1st and 15. And it's those kind of things that we have confidence in him and know that we're going to get him the ball back, and it's going to result in points. So it's one of those things that's 22 guys playing for a collective goal, and with a quarterback like that, we've always got a shot.
Going back to Neil here.
Sorry, Trey. Yeah, it's Neil from Sky Sports again. Just a follow-up. I wonder how different does it feel then, the entire franchise? Because you were there at times when you were going through losing seasons, and now here you are in a Super Bowl. How much has it changed?
Yeah, this is my first year, but I did play against the Bengals, so just knowing the difference in who's in the quarterback is definitely a overall change for this organization, and it's something that I'm excited to be a part of going forward.
Rod, you're up.
Trey, I apologize for all the non-Super Bowl questions, but if Dennis Allen was to get this job, what can you just kind of tell me about your relationship with him and just what type of a coach is he?
He is a great coach. He expects the best out of his players. He's a great leader. It was one of those things I came in pretty early on and knew that he was special, and to have him as a DC, I knew he was going to be a head coach at some point of his career again. He's just a discipline driven man, and he conducts himself well on and off the field, high character. If he gets the job or not, I don't think it's going to waver him because that's the kind of guy he is. He's all about the team. He's all about his players, and he wants to get the best out of those guys every single day, and he sets them up for success.
All right, just a heads up, we're walking into the last 4 minutes. Let's go with Eddie Fitz.
Hey, Trey, Eddie 88.7 WRHU. Just got done listening to Jesse talk about the relationship between the secondary and the D-line and how important that is going to be for Sunday's game. I was wondering, what is the overall culture of the defense been like over these past couple of seasons, and how that's sort of changed in relation to some of the new guys you've brought in over these past couple of years as well?
Yeah, so I've only been here, this is my first season with the Bengals. I was 4 years in New Orleans previous to this season. So being a part of the change and seeing the way that everybody has meshed since OTA's on, I can't really speak for anything in the locker room before this, but I can say that we have a true brotherhood. It's been one of those things that they've allowed me to come in, be myself, continue to work hard and in winning games, and the relationship between the DBs, the linebackers, the D-line is all the same. We love one another and we play for one another, and that's what true defense is all about, and that's special to be a part of.
All right, we're down to the last 3 minutes. We'll give about another minute or so. Appreciate your time, Trey.
All right, thank you.